Hi, this is Patrick with Cantu Group Real Estate. I'm making this video to show you how to create our quarterly market report. This is our market report that focuses on Seattle and the East Side, and it's just a marketing material that we use to keep all of our prospects up to date on what's happening in the local housing market. So the first thing we do for both the Seattle side and the East Side is do the top 10 sales in those areas. So you start off by, you log into the Northwest MLS, you click Matrix, you go search, and you click General, you hit Sold, and you click the last 3 months. So in this case, it's September through July 1st. So I got July 1st through September 30th set up here. Now I'm going to look at homes and condos, and I'll start by doing the Seattle side. So all the different areas, codes for Seattle. Okay. I got all those typed in. That's basically the entire Seattle area, and now I'm only going for the very top 10, so I'm going to start about 2.3 million plus and see what we get. 36 matches, so I'm going to bring it up higher, go like 26 million or 2.6. Okay, still have quite a few matches. 2.8 mil. Okay, gotta go pretty high. Try 3.5. Okay, perfect. I've got 10 matches, so I'm going to go down and I'm going to list each of these like so. So I've got a completed report here. So you're going to open a Word document and you're going to just list the top 10 sales, price, address, neighborhood, and so forth. Okay? And so when you do the East Side, when we do the East Side, at least at this point as I'm making this video, we focus on Bellevue, Mercer Island, and Kirkland. So it's the same exact idea. Just type in your those area codes for Mercer Island: 510, 520, 530 for Bellevue, and 560 for Kirkland. Okay, and obviously those price points are a bit higher. Find your 10 and do the same thing. So that's 14. So just pick the top 10. You can even hit list sell and it will automatically order them from highest to lowest for you. Okay, and so I usually create a separate Word doc just to keep things kind of simple and write out the same kind of information. Name, price, address, city or neighborhood. Okay, so now that we have the top 10 sales for each one, we have to get stats. The stats that we're looking at are active listings, pending listings, sold listings, average sales price, and so forth. So in order to get that information, we are going to click NWMLS Home. And then we're going to click News and Stats. And then Info Sparks with Fast Stats. This is going to allow us to get all the statistical information that we want. Okay, so I'm going to type in Seattle, start on that side. Another thing that we want to do is click over here and select monthly so that each data point equals 1 month of data. Secondly, under sales price, it defaults to medium. Our marketing piece says, average sales price, average this, average that. You always click the average version of it. Okay, so I've got a data point for July, August, and September. So what you're going to do for, let's just say the average sales price residential, I'm going to write down or type in on my desktop calculator, this price right here, 883,161. I'm going to add 833,773 and add 889,327, and then divide that number by 3, and that's going to be my average sales price for this quarter. And when I do condos, you hit plus right here to get, this will give me residentials and condos, but if I only want the average sales price of a condo, which is what I want, I need to minus out the residential, and it's the same thing. You just average the last 3 months of average price points to get the number you want. For all the other stats, I want to have both residents and condos, so I'm going to hit plus right here for if I'm looking at my average days on market. Here it is, going up and up these days. Again, add them together, divide it, get your average, and that's your number. And it's just the same for all the stuff. So just find your averages and then write them down in your Word document. And basically, I'm just creating instructions for our graphic designer who's going to put all this stuff together. So I have all my stats and averages all in here. And then when you're doing the east side version of this, I'm focusing on Mercer Island. Okay, and then add an area. You click over here, Kirkland, and add an area, Bellevue. This is going to make our east side stuff. So this is going to take a little bit more math because I'm going to look at all these 3 numbers, right, for September, and I'm going to take all these numbers for August and all these numbers for July. So for each month, I'm going to get an average. I'm going to take my average for July, I'm going to take my average for August, I'm going to take my average for September, and then I'm going to add those averages together and average that, if that makes sense. And then I'm going to get my number for my homes for sale. So you're going to do that again for the same exact process for how we did it for the Seattle. I'm going to look at my days on market average. I'm going to look at my sales price average, and I'm going to again separate out my condos and my homes, so I can get a number for condos and then get a number for homes like that. And again, it's just a lot of addition and division. So adding these 3 numbers divided by 3, add these 3 numbers divided by 3, add these 3 numbers divided by 3, and then add those 3 totals and divide that by 3, and you're going to get your grand average for the entire 3rd quarter, in this case, of sales price for homes on the east side. Okay, so once you have done all that, you are going to wind up with a Word document that looks kind of like this. And there's plenty of examples available that you can look at, old versions of stuff that we've sent out. So anyways, so now that I have all of my information, I'm ready to go to 99 Designs and actually let the graphic designer know that I'm ready to make my marketing piece. So go to 99designs.com, log in. You want to click Designers. You are going to find MRG, which is the only designer we pretty much ever use. He's fantastic. Let's wait for this to load. And essentially what we're going to do is provide MRG with all of this information, and he's going to crank out a really cool marketing piece for us. The good news is, especially with MRG, is that he's worked with us on this stuff many, many, many times, so he already has a really solid idea of how this all works and what's expected. Why is this taking so long? Okay. Okay, I'm going to try this with a different browser. Maybe that'll work. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to click Invite for MRG. I'm going to go Ask for Quote. Now start a new brief and name your project. I'm going to say Quarterly or I'm going to go third quarter in this case, market report. What type of design do I need? I'm going to select infographic because that's what this is. Now, I'm going to simply take my Word documents that we've created and I'm going to copy everything. Okay. And grab my east side half here, copy everything. Okay. Now, reference files, these are, we always like to have a cool, pretty picture at the top of these marketing pieces, so I'm going to pull some photos here that'll look good. I'm going to use this one for the Seattle half because it's a picture of Green Lake. And then I'm going to pull this one for the Bellevue east side half because it's got Bellevue in it. Okay. Now, as far as inspirational files goes, that means like anything that might help him get an idea of what this is supposed to look like. So I would go in here and find an old report that we've done. Click on Market Reports, 2018 updates, and I'm just going to pull Q2 East Side and Q2 Seattle, so he knows what it is I'm driving at. Even though I'm pretty sure he already does, but why not? Just help him out as much as we can.
Is this the correct card?
So he has all the information he needs here. So I'm just going to go click next.
Buyers 1218.
There's all this timing stuff. We've been working with MRG forever. We know he can get it done in about a day. And don't worry about the pricing stuff. He's relatively cheap price-wise too, and I don't really put anything into the pricing section of this. Real estate mortgage is our industry, and usually this should cost about $30. So anyways, I'm going to hit next. And then I'm going to take a quick second to review, get my quarterly for September. I've got my quarterly for Eastside. Quarterly for Eastside, quarterly for Seattle. That looks good. I got my photos. I've got some inspirational files for him. I'm going to click Let's Do This. And then I'm just going to say, we've sent your invite to MRG. Hit Continue. And now I just wait for an email from 99 Designs telling me, hey, MRG's received your quote or your project. MRG will then do the project, send it to you, and you'll have a chance to revise anything. So review it again when MRG sends it, and if there's anything wrong with it, just let him know, and I'll make the changes right away. And then he'll send you, how much it's going to cost, and just go ahead and pay him. And that's how you do it. It's pretty easy. I'll make a subsequent video to show you how to send this out as an email blast, and also how to send this out as a hard copy mailer. Alright, I hope this was helpful, and let me know if you have any questions.